Okay, yeah, back to the next tutorial. And before I go on to new topics, I just want to touch upon some previous topics. But at least I have some example to show you. Here you have a 9.4 slabs, and there is full date stamp on the back cover. So I have many other example of books with handwritings and covers in 9.4 as well as 9.6, but at least as you can see, date stamp really have minimal impact. I also talked about printer crease, and as you can see right there, you see this is a fairly large printer crease. It's about 2 or 3 inches or so. And usually when you have a printer crease, it's usually on both front and back cover. It's just almost a certainty. As you can see right there, you have a corresponding printer crease. There's even another one right there. So there's multiple printer crease on this book, and guess what? It's a 9.4. So right there. So it's very important to be able to determine what is a crease, a man-made crease, and what is a printer crease, so that you know what how to grade the book. But like I said, some people think it's a big deal, it's an eyesore. I don't mind it, especially when it's this light and it's hard to see. And if it's on the back cover, it's not a big deal. But as you can see, she does not penalize that much on the printer crease. Okay, today new topic is going to be on corner creases or creases in general, and I wrote down on a piece of paper some simple guideline that I use. As you can see, if it's 1/116 of an inch, I would say 9.6 max, and then you get 1/4 inch 9.4 max, half an inch 9.0 maximum, 1 inch 8, 2 inch 7, and then 6 inches for 6.5 max. As I mentioned before, grading is not an exact science. Also, these are just the guideline that I use. I have no idea what CGC does, but this is the guideline that I use to grade my books, as well as sending my book into CGC, and the majority of the time I guess right on what I think the grade should be and what CGC end up giving the grade. So I'm pretty confident that I'm pretty close to what it is, and is in any guideline. There's some leeway. It's not an exact science. So as I mentioned before in previous videos, I approach grading with what is allowable in certain grades and work downward. That make it much simpler than to sit there and count cumulative flaws, because that's just not easy to do. Maybe that's how CGC does it, but that's not how I want to do it. So the way I see it is, like, if you have a book and I see any kind of creases like this, it depend on how big the creases are. I have a mental memory of this guideline, so immediately I go into the target grade range and work downward. And the higher the grades, of course, the less amount of other flaws that can fall in. So you got to understand, CGC grades go all the way up to 10.0. So it's possible and very likely to see visible flaws on 9.8 book. I have heard so many misconceptions about people saying, oh, 9.8 is perfect. I can't believe that I saw a book with a flaw, a visible flaw in a 9.8 slabs. Well, it is 9.8. If it was perfect, it'd be 10.0. So that's one of the biggest misconceptions out there. There's a lot of people that doesn't understand grading and they look at the book, say in a 9.6 slabs, and they say, oh, I can see 2 or 3 flaws on the book. Well, it's 9.6. It's not 10.0, so you should see 2 or 3 visible flaws, however small they are. If you don't like it, don't buy it. But trying to understand grading, that's the most best advice I can give to anyone. Understand grading will make it easier for you to spend your money at the end of the day. So, like I said, if I see a book that have a 1/2 inch corner crease, doesn't matter if it is front cover, back cover, right away I say to myself 9.0 maximum. And then depends on the other flaws of the book, I might knock it down a little bit more. Now, the lower the grades are as you go down the scale, the more cumulative problems a book is allowed. So, if you look at a book with say a 6-inch crease, a corner crease right across the front cover, and you start out at 6.5. Now, if there are some minor spine stress here and there and other little flaws here and there, that does not mean that the book will fall down to 6 or below. Just got to understand, the lower the grades, the more allowable flaws there are on the books. So in absence of major flaws to this book with a 6-inch crease, it might still get a 6.5. Okay, so if the rest of the book is okay, even rounded corners, a few spine ticks here and there, it still will get a 6.5. It is what it is. Okay, so try to use this guideline in your future grading, and I think it would make it easier. And I have a couple examples here to show you. Take a look at this book. There are a very visible 1/2 inch. I don't have a ruler with me, but there's a 1/2 inch corner crease right there. But the rest of this book is super nice. I'm sure there are other flaws. It's a white spine, so you can't really see the flaw very easy. And it's always harder to see all the flaws when the book is in the slabs, but I assure you, the rest of the book is pretty nice. There's a minor ding right there, as you can see. The top has some imperfections right there, but the rest is pretty good. But as you can see, the grade is 8.5. So if you see this book raw and you see the corner crease right there, right away you should think that it can be a 9.0 maximum, and then work downward. And so this book, like I said, is a good example of how you can use creases as a guideline on what the grade is. Okay, so that's one example. Let's move on to the next example. This book here, as you can see, it's hard to see, that's a crease that's a little bit over 1 inch. Okay, but give or take, you can say that there is a crease regardless of how visible it is. It broke colors of the paper so you can see it. Okay, so right there you can see the crease, and then as you can see the corner, not bad, it's not razor sharp, but like I see the rest of the book. As you can scan, the rest of this book look pretty good. But it's hard to know exactly what else is wrong with the book in the slabs. It hides a lot of flaws in the slabs. And here on the back cover, look at this. You can see this is foxing. Okay, up and down the spine on the back cover, you can see foxing, and a pretty blunted top corner right there. Okay, not a big deal, but that's it. And now that I have not shown you the grade yet, I hope I didn't on the front cover, what do you think this book will be? As I mentioned before, or 1-inch crease would be 8.0 max, but other flaws are allowable in certain grade range. So unless it is some major flaws, CGC won't ding the book that much more. Voila, 8.0. Okay, so really, as you can see, the foxing not a big deal for this grade range. CGC will hammer foxing, maybe in the 9.4, 9.6 range, or if the foxing is really bad. But on light foxing, and this I would consider more in a line of moderate foxing. Sure, it doesn't look great, but at least it's just isolated to the entire spine. I have seen books where the foxing is everywhere on the entire covers. So this is moderate, and even with the slight corner ding up here, it is an 8.0. So okay, let's move on to the next book. Look at this one here. This one have, as you can see, about a 1/2-inch corner crease. So right away you start out with a 9.0 max. Okay, and if you look at the rest of the book, there's 1 or 2 or 3, a bunch of little spine dings. Okay, little scratches, nothing major, no major other flaws. Okay, the back covers of this book is very nice. I already checked it before, but I give you a quick scan so you can see. Okay, so what do you think this grade will be now that you see the few ding on the spine and the corner crease of 1/2 inch working from a 9.0 down? Guess what? 8.5. There you go. For those that guess it right, great. Here's the last example I want to show. This one here, this flaw right here is about 1/4